Good day and welcome to another edition of We Now here on We TV. My name is Dominic Papa. Glad to have you along for the ride here today. We have another very special guest in studio with us. She is a local author. She has written 5 books to her credit. Her latest one coming out this past March, No Kids Required. Jenn Sadai joins us in the studio. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
5th one?
5th book. I've read one book per year for the last 5 years.
So it takes you about a year to do these things? Each of these, they're different. They're all different, right?
Right. They all focus on kind of a different subject matter. And I have to write them in my spare time. So I could probably go a little faster, but I have a day job. So one book a year is...
That's amazing. That's a great accomplishment. I know, we've had a few authors on this show, and they've taken 2-3 years at a time to write a book. So the fact that you're getting some of these done in a year is an amazing accomplishment, plus a full-time job, a marriage, everything. You're a busy lady.
I am. I prefer to keep busy. One of the reasons I can be so involved in this and my day job is I have older kids. Or older stepchildren. So right now I have a bit of an empty nest, so I have more time available.
Well, maybe you can do 2 books a year now.
Maybe.
Maybe. Your books are very real, and you alluded to that, that it's kind of like real life situations, real life decisions.
Right. The first few were actually memoirs, so they all dealt with my life.
Okay.
This one here, I interviewed 20 different women who have chosen to be child-free and told their stories.
So again, very real. How did you come up with the idea, and were the women from the Windsor, Essex County area that you interviewed?
The majority were. There was a couple from the Toronto area and one from Las Vegas. They're all people I've met through life. I have a lot of family members who have chosen to be child-free. So they were kind of my inspiration for doing this. I knew some of the struggles they face, some of the judgments, and I wanted to kind of showcase that this is a life choice and there's nothing wrong with it. Something
had to have sparked you, Jen, to take this on, this topic. It's a very interesting topic, and it is a life decision, for a lady, even for a man if he chooses not to have kids. But you have 20 different women here, and how did you go about, I guess, were you looking for a certain type of lady? Are they all different backgrounds?
I was trying to keep it as diverse as possible. So originally, I just went with the people I knew in my core life. So there were some friends and family who've chosen to be child-free and were very strong on their views. So those were the easy ones to choose. Then I had to actually go out on social media and ask for people, and trying to find like a wide age range. They're as young as 29 and as old as 53 in the book. Because it changes throughout life, your perspective on it.
Yeah, and now the age ranges from the ladies that you were talking to, and did you put a limitation there?
I didn't ask for a limitation. That was just who I ended up with. I didn't want anybody too young, because I feel until you get close to your 30s, you may think you don't want kids and change your mind. It's kind of still in that deciding age.
We're talking to Jenn Sadai here on We Now, and she has authored another book, her 5th book, as we mentioned, and this one again called No Kids Required. Talks to 20 women, share their unique perspectives on choosing to be child-free. Okay, so when you get the research going, I mean, you have 20 different women that you're talking to. I would imagine a lot of homework has to be done with each individual.
Oh, definitely. I started off by just giving them, I think it was 10 questions to start to kind of get the framework. And then I had to go back to every single one with new questions, follow-up questions. I ended up coming up with more questions near the end to kind of round things off. And so,
without giving too much away with the book, because we want people to buy the book and read the book, of course. But any of the ladies, anything that they spoke about, did you sense maybe any of them having any regret?
There was one out of the 20 who actually did regret, and later in life she was one of the older people who I interviewed. But when I pried more into the reasons she had for regret, it was more concern about not leaving a legacy, which I think, we all want to leave something. Sure. And this woman in particular actually has a pretty impressive legacy. She's an author. She does a lot of work for bullying. So what I ended up chatting with her about was, you have kind of created a legacy without having children, and I think I helped her feel a little bit better about that decision.
I would imagine out of 20 women, there's various reasons, I should say, for the decision to go child-free.
Yes.
Were there a variety of reasons, or was it kind of common?
Every woman pretty much said freedom was top on her list.
Okay.
There's a lot of freedom that comes when you don't have to worry about taking care of kids. But there was tons of different reasons. There was environmental factors, economic factors. Some of these women were very driven in their careers, so they had other goals in mind that they just didn't feel they could devote enough energy to their passion or career and still be a devoted mother.
Did any of them, I'm curious to know, did any of the ladies, I mean, obviously they came on board with you to talk about this, were they reluctant at all to talk about any situations even?
I gave them all the opportunity to use an alias, and 16 of the 20 women did choose an alias.
Wow, so there is some apprehension there.
Right, there's that fear of being judged, and some of them really actually don't like kids. And being able to put that out there and say, I don't like children, it's nerve-wracking. So I understand how some of them wanted to hide their name.
For yourself personally, on a personal level, the learning curve here for you even must have been just phenomenal. And did any of it catch you off guard?
There were some responses I wasn't expecting. It didn't catch me so much off guard because I do recognize that we all have different experiences, we all have different perspectives. So just because one of the women maybe had a perspective that I didn't share doesn't really devalue her opinion.
For yourself, what was the, I guess, toughest challenge in putting this together once you got the ball rolling and you were hearing some of the responses and some of the concerns that women had?
I wanted to make sure I gave every woman's story enough in the book. So when you have 20 different women and they all have these different stories and journeys, being able to include everybody's experiences and make sure that one opinion is not valued over another. So,
did you share any of your information with the other ladies as you went on? I mean, whoever was the last subject would have, I guess you would have had the most amount of experience at that point. And did you share any of that with her?
I did just close to the end. I was probably about 70% done the book, and I sent it to all 20. So they could read each other's responses. It gave them a chance to kind of review, is there something I left out of your story that needs to be in here? Is there something I put in here that maybe I misinterpreted? So I gave them kind of a chance to reflect. And I got so many amazing responses from the women when they read the other stories. Like, they kind of bonded through this.
Sure, absolutely, I can see that. So you get through this, you get the interviews done, you get the book written. I guess your first thought when you completed and accomplished this, I would imagine just the mental challenge that this brings. I'm sure there was relief for you, but was it like, wow, this was amazing, and maybe I need to do a follow-up or anything like that?
It actually has sparked my 7th book. I have one in progress right now that's different for number 6. But my 7th book is going to be called Women Ready to Rise. And I'm going to interview 20 women who have faced different challenges and how they've overcame this to accomplish something wonderful. So I liked the opportunity to delve into other people's lives and kind of showcase their stories. So it has sparked me to try it again.
Does any of this, Jen, play into what's going on in the world today? I mean, I think the timing of this book is outstanding, actually. You got that Me Too movement. Women are trying to establish themselves, and rightfully so, in whatever careers, things like that, and certain lifestyles, and they have that choice, and I agree with it 100%. The timing couldn't be better for a book like that. Is that some of the inspiration here?
It's funny because when I started this book, there wasn't a lot of talk of the child-free movement, or that more women were choosing not to have kids or have less kids. And then right after I was finalizing it, I saw articles coming out. There was different publications that were focused on the same topic. So I don't know if I just got lucky and hit it right at the time that it was a popular topic, or...
Well, everybody's writing genius on top of your forehead right now, because it's an outstanding accomplishment again, and just the timing is very, very good. I'm going to play kind of like devil's advocate here, I guess, or maybe put you on the spot here a little bit, Jen.
Sure.
What about on the flip side, a male's perspective on deciding to not have kids?
There is actually a chapter in there on, it's called No Need to Be a Dad, where I interviewed a man and I asked him all the same questions and got his opinion on a guy who had chosen to be child-free. From talking to even some of the husbands of the child-free women, they don't really face the same pressures. They don't have...
Well, the biological clock thing and all that stuff, right?
Right, they don't get those comments.
Right.
Because a lot of times it's those comments where if a woman's made up her mind not to have children and you keep telling her, your clock is ticking, you need to have a kid, that will eat at her. But I definitely looked into the guy's perspective on it. I've had some negative fallout from the book, and it actually has been from men.
Reason being? How can you write that? You know, and
Yes, it's kind of, there are still some people out there who think that a woman's job is to become a mom. So they didn't really want somebody promoting a child-free lifestyle, because in their eyes, and a lot of it had to do with religious beliefs, that a woman's job is to procreate. But just as I give the women right to their opinion, I give those men right to their opinion. They their opinion can't dictate how I live my life.
so we got to make another book, No Kids Required, 20 women and 1 man. Sure. What will people get out of this book, mostly, Jen? What do you want them to get out of this book when they read it?
There's two sides to that. There's the women who have chosen to be child-free outside of this book. I want them to feel like they're not alone. I want them to understand that there are other women who feel the same way. Now, for the people who have children, I want them to understand that just because maybe someone they love doesn't want children, they have their reasons, it's okay, and maybe not put that pressure on them.
Okay. The book is called No Kids Required. It's talking to 20 women sharing their unique perspectives on choosing to be child-free. Jenn Sadai is the author of the book. It is now available in various stores and online?
Yep, in stores, it's in a Storyteller bookstore on Ottawa Street.
Okay.
It is also Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kubo online.
And if you want to follow Jen, she has a website, correct?
I do, JennSadai.com, so
There-
JennSadai.com.
There you can see it right there on the monitor. Great stuff, Jen. Wow, this is really good. We'll
Thank
stay
you
in touch
so
with
much.
you.
I really
thank you.
appreciate
I
this.
appreciate you coming in and visiting us. We'd like to do more. So when your next book is up and ready and you got it ready to go, please come and see us again. And I think it's wonderful what you're doing. I think to take a passion and a favorite thing to do and make it reality, that's a great accomplishment. So I'm sure you're going to inspire some other people that way.
I hope so.
Absolutely. Okay, that's it. That's this installment of We Now. Again, check out her book, get it online, or head out to one of the stores and take this book, or take the time to purchase the book. It's very inexpensive, folks, and it's a great read for sure. A lot of interesting comments, a lot of different looks at the way people are choosing to live their life these days. On behalf of Jen, on behalf of everybody here at WE TV, this is Dominic Papa. Thanking you for tuning in. We'll talk to you all again soon. Take care, everybody.